G'day everyone. First of all, once again, congratulations to Jane and the Jane Morgan team for your 20 years. Jane and the team have been very helpful to us. I have zero knowledge about investor relations and the ASX, and they've been an incredible guide on our journey to this point. What I do have a lot of knowledge on, I'm a former tank commander, former commander of the Australian Army's Test and Evaluation Command. So the military environment is something that I'm intimately familiar with, and I'm sure everybody else in the room is intimately familiar with some of the videos you've been seeing of late coming from places like Ukraine, where drones are dominating the battlefield. Is there anyone not seen one of those videos of a drone blowing up a tank or some poor person running away? Right, we've all seen it, it's horrible. The latest statistic is 85% of the casualties coming out of the Ukraine-Russian war are as a consequence of drones. If you're a military professional, if you're a military that can't defeat a drone, you're missing your biggest enemy. And that's what Boresight does. So Boresight provides a training system for militaries to train against the drone threat. Now, to give you some idea of the scale that Boresight can move to, which is what should interest everyone here. Imagine 1 in 10 people in the army needs to learn how to shoot down a drone with a shotgun. Now, there's a lot more weapons that they use to bring down drones, but 1 in 10 people need to bring it down with a shotgun. As part of their training regime, that person needs to learn how to use the shotgun to bring down a drone. And they can do all the simulation and other practice systems they like, but as part of a military training continuum, anyone here former military or military? Anyone? No? Okay. Trust me. The way you train is you must engage as realistic a target as you can as part of your training regime. So if you're going to get the tick in the box that Corporal Schnurdbergler can shoot a drone with a shotgun, Corporal Schnurdbergler's got to shoot 3 to 5 drones every year to qualify on that shotgun. And then the way a military training continuum works is Corporal Schnurdbergler will then go out and do section training. Section's about 10 guys. And as part of section training, he'll shoot another 3 to 5 drones. And then he'll do platoon training, and that'll happen again. Then company training. Now, every time that organisation gets bigger, so when you go from section to platoon, now there's 3 Corporal Schnurdberglers. When you go from platoon to company, now you've got 12 Corporal Schnurdberglers. And then battalion, and then brigade. And they tend to top out about there, because that's 5,000 people on a range, all doing live fire training. So you can get a sense of the scale there. Now, there's 25,000 people in the Australian regular army, so that's a lot of training. If you then include organisations like the US Marine Corps, 180,000 people, US Army, over 1 million, you can now start to get a sense of the scale of how many people need to shoot down a drone. Now, Artie, can you just pick the drone up, please, mate? That's a drone. Okay, it's not just leave it over there, just everyone can see it. Yeah, just fly it around if you can, mate. Okay, so that's our basic drone. 3 to 5 of those in the multiples that I just explained. That is the opportunity you're looking at with Boresight. Okay, now at the moment we are embedded with the Australian Defence Force, all 4 arms of the US military, the UK MOD, Canadian, and we're growing into the various European armies, which are tough to deal with sometimes. And so we now have this footprint. Now, what's the secret sauce of Boresight? Well, I can tell you it's not a cheap drone, because they're a dime a dozen. It's the control system that sits behind that allows a low-cost, simple drone to fly in swarms like a bunch of very expensive, clever drones. And so that back-end control system is also very simple to use. So the aforementioned Corporal Schnurdbergler, he's a real guy, by the way. The aforementioned Corporal Schnurdbergler only needs 2 days training, and that guy can safely fly drones in simulated live fire defence environments. And if you can imagine those kind of environments, you've got lots of people firing lots of live ammunition. Those are very tightly controlled, well-orchestrated activities, because Defence Forces don't like shooting their own people. And so they want that to be tight. And once again, our system is designed for that environment. That's what makes us different to every other drone manufacturer in the world, is the way we control it. We control drones specifically for that military training, testing, development, and demonstration environment. And as I mentioned before, my last 3 years of my military career were running the Australian Defence, the Army's Test and Evaluation Command, and I have a good understanding of where the parameters in setting those systems up and controlling that environment. And I'll just quickly refer to my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything. So I've covered who's using us, why they're using us, who competes with us. I've just presented at the Techno conference in Melbourne yesterday, and the question that I got the most was, who are your competitors? What's stopping somebody else building a bunch of cheap drones and coming and cutting my grass? That back end that I was talking about before, the control system is unique. We are the only drone manufacturer in the world that is offering that kind of control system. And that control system talks to that drone. The electronics in that drone were designed in-house by our team. It's all Australian electronics. Most Western militaries will not touch anything Chinese. And there's a bunch of other countries that they're a bit iffy about. All of our stuff is made in Australia. And we're at the moment setting up manufacturing in the US. In fact, we signed a lease on an 800-odd square metre facility in the US only a couple of weeks ago. So we're manufacturing in the US, we're manufacturing in Australia, we're trusted by the customer, and that's why we've got the traction that we've got to this point with selling to people like US Army SOCOM. Those guys don't buy from anybody, they're a highly untrusting customer. You need to tick a lot of boxes to get inside that organisation, and we're there. Inside the US Marine Corps, US Army, US Air Force, US Navy, Canadian, UK, a bunch of other armies around the world. We're also getting traction into places like Southeast Asia and the Middle East for exactly those reasons. Those guys only trust somebody that someone else has put their trust in, and we've got traction in those places as well. So where does the business go from there? Well, we've found ourselves in a unique position in Western defence industry. Most of Western defence industry is focused on really high-tech carbon fibre, titanium, gold-plated stuff. It's been the way Western militaries have grown their equipment since the end of World War II. You know, the Eastern Bloc has had more, we've had better. What we're finding with the drone problem is that doesn't matter anymore. We actually need to scale. And we're one of the very few Western companies that has got a point where we're actually scaling successfully, profitably, inside a Western nation. So we're building things at scale, we're trusted by the customer, and that puts us in a unique position for a bunch of other things in that drone space. There is no one else in the Western Hemisphere making thousands of drones a year that meet all of those Western regulatory requirements and scaling requirements. So it's actually put us in a unique position. We're currently Australia's largest drone manufacturer by volume. There are a couple of others that make multiple million-dollar drones. By revenue, they give edge us out, but by volume, we make more drones in Australia than any other company. So there you go, that's Boresight. I'll be around for the rest of the day. As you can see, I'm really passionate about what we do. Love to have a chat about it. Amy's going to push me off stage in a minute, but I could keep talking all day. Thank you very much.